Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnu Padma Shrimad His Divine Day, Shri Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Namacharya Sri Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Govindanath Samakunda Radha Kundu Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Mayapur Dham ki jai, Jagannath Dham ki jai, Vasudeva ki jai, Vasudeva ki jai, Ramamaya ki jai, Ramanamaya ki jai, Samavela Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nikai Gaur Purnamaya. All glory to the Son of the Body. All glory to the Son of the Body. All glory to the Son of the Body. Guru 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 Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sama Om Vishnu. Haribol, the lotus feet of our spiritual master, the way by which you can attain the pure devotion of faith. Give us the saving of your famous spiritual take shelter in the Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gauravanandi Haribol. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Grantha Raj ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Grantha Raj ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Yasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nastaprayesu Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistaki Tadarajas Shinvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantaksto Hibhadrani Vidunati Suhitsatam
Nasta prayesu abhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati tamasloke bhaktir bhavati naistaki tadarajastamo bhavo kamalo badayaschaye cheta etaranavidam stitvam sattve prasidati. Evam prasana manaso bhagavat bhakti yoga daha bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate vidyate hridaya grantis siddhyante sarva samsaya shiyante chasya karmani jista evat manishware tadarajastamo bhavo kamalo badayaschaye chitetairanavidam Stitvam sattve prasidati. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we're going to hear some of the glories of the Bhagavad Gita, and we're going to hear how we can save all of our ancestors from hell. You have any ancestors in hell? Huh? Probably. Yes, me too. Practically all of my ancestors are in hell. So today we're going to be able to save them. I'm going to explain in a minute. First of all, in the 4th chapter, 40th verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Agyas jas sadadana sya samsayatma vinasyati nayam lokusti na parun na sukam na param gitim na sukam samsayatmanaha. This verse says, with ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness, they fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Nayam lokusti na paro nasukam samsayat manaha. So, for the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, out of many standard and authoritative revealed scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita is the best. Persons who have attained persons who are almost like animals have no faith in or knowledge of the standard revealed scriptures. And some, even though they have knowledge of or can cite passages from the revealed scriptures, have actually no faith in these words. In other words, they can quote Bhagavad Gita, but they don't really have faith in the words. That's one example. That would be Gandhi. He didn't really have faith in the words of Bhagavad Gita. He didn't believe Krishna existed, but yet he would quote the Bhagavad Gita. And even though others may have faith in the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, they do not believe in or worship the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Such persons cannot have any standing in Krishna consciousness. They fall down. Out of all the above-mentioned persons, those who have no faith and are always doubtful make no progress at all. Men without faith in God and His revealed word find no good in this world nor in the next. For them, there is no happiness whatsoever. One should therefore follow the principles of revealed scriptures with faith and thereby be raised to the platform of knowledge. So faith precedes knowledge. It's not the opposite. It's not that knowledge precedes faith. Faith precedes knowledge. So we should follow the principles of revealed scriptures with faith and thereby be raised to the platform of knowledge. Only this knowledge will help one become promoted to the transcendental platform of spiritual understanding. In other words, doubtful persons have no status whatsoever in spiritual emancipation. One should therefore follow in the footsteps of great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and thereby attain success. So, 440 in Bhagavad Gita clearly says Bhagavad Gita is the best of all the revealed Vedic scriptures, standard scriptures. Then, page 14 of the introduction of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada writes that Prabhupada writes let's see. Gita is the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Let's see where that's. It is also explained in Gita that. It's not there. Must have made a mistake. It says, page 15. So Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistakes. And Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are searching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge, which comes down, as is stated in Bhagavad Gita, by the parampara, disciplic succession. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with the supreme spiritual master, the Lord himself, Lord Krishna, and handed down to a succession of spiritual masters. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from Lord Shri Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. No. We must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. That's it right there. So I made a mistake. It's page 15. Vedic knowledge is received from the transcendental sources, and the first words were spoken by the Lord himself. The words spoken by the Lord are called apurusheya, meaning they're different from words spoken by a person of the mundane world who is infected with 4 defects. Okay, so page 15 in the introduction. Bhagavad Gita is the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Then on page 16, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is explained. There are many examples given of how we are to utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, in Krishna Ishopanishad it says, Kurvan Ishavaisham midam sarvam jatkinja jagatyam jagattena taktena punjitaha magridaha kasasvidanam. And he says that the Lord is everything animate and inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. So, therefore, here it says, there are many examples given of how we are to utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, Arjuna decided that he should not fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. This was his own decision. Arjuna told the Lord that it was not possible for him to enjoy the kingdom after killing his own kinsman. This decision was based on the body because he was thinking that the body was himself and that his bodily relations or expansions were his brothers, nephews, brothers-in-law, grandfathers, and so on. Therefore, he wanted to satisfy his bodily demands. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Lord just to change this view. And at the end, Arjuna decided to fight under the directions of the Lord when he says, Karishya vachanam tava, I shall act according to your word. So, change what view? The view that I am this body, everything in relationship with this body are my kinsmen, and I am loyal to my kinsmen, to my race, to my ethnicity, to my people, swajanam. Therefore, Arjuna refused to fight. And therefore, it says here, Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Lord just to change this view. Now, this could be taken by most people as being something very bad. Because most people say, oh, the most important thing in my life is family. I'm doing everything for my family, you know. Well, wait a minute. What if your family eats meat and drinks liquor or smokes marijuana and gambles? So does that mean you have to be faithful to them? In other words, how can you be faithful and blindly follow people who are openly violating the rules and regulations? Now, therefore, there's the question of duty. Duty means even if your family is eating meat, gambling, intoxicating, and so forth, if you are a member of that family, you have certain duties, especially if they are dependents. But you're not obliged to do those things yourself. So you do your duty. In other words, no one forced you to have children, bring children into this world. But once they're brought into this world, you have a duty to protect them until they're on their own and educate them and so forth. Well, you try and educate them in Krishna consciousness, but sometimes the wife may not agree. So your duty is to maintain them, but your duty is not to follow their bad example. And your duty is to give a good example, at the same time being kind and generous and tolerant, because no situation is permanent. So children grow up quickly and they go off on their own. So Arjuna's problem was, he thought his number one duty in life was to take care of his family, and how could he be a good caretaker if he has to kill some of his family, like on the Battle of Kurukshetra. So he refuses to follow Krishna's order because of that. So the Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Lord just to change this view. And at the end, Arjuna decides to fight under the direction of the Lord when he says, Karishya vachanam tava, I shall act according to your word. In this world, men are not meant for quarreling like cats and dogs. Men must be intelligent to realize the importance of human life and refuse to act like ordinary animals. A human being should realize the aim of his life, and this direction is given in all the Vedic literatures, and the essence is given in Bhagavad Gita. Vedic literature is meant for human beings, not for animals. Animals can kill other living animals, and there is no question of sin on their part. But if a man kills an animal for the satisfaction of his uncontrolled taste, he must be responsible for breaking the laws of nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly explained that there are three kinds of activities according to the different modes of nature: the activities of goodness, of passion, and of ignorance. Similarly, there are three kinds of eatables, also eatables in goodness, passion, and ignorance. All this is clearly described, and if we properly utilize the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, then our whole life will become purified, and ultimately we will be able to reach the destination which is beyond this material sky. Yadgatva na vivartante tadama paramambama. Okay, then again in the second chapter, 12th verse, it says that no book in this world can compare to Bhagavad Gita. The Gita, I say, a common man with all four defects of human frailty is unable to teach that which is worth hearing. So, I mean, so many useless people write books, and their books are also useless. The Gita is above such literature. No mundane book compares with the Bhagavad Gita. When one accepts Krishna as an ordinary man, the Gita loses all importance. Okay. One cannot have it. The non-devotee approach to the teachings of the Gita is something like that of a bee licking on a bottle of honey from outside the bottle. Right? It sees the honey, but it can't taste it because it's licking the glass. One cannot have a taste of honey unless one opens the bottle. Similarly, the mysticism of the Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees, and no one else can taste it, as it is stated in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Nor can the Gita be touched by persons who envy the very existence of the Lord. Therefore, the Mayavadi explanation of the Gita is most misleading presentation of whole truth. Lord Chaitanya has forbidden us to read commentations made by the Mayavadis and warns that one who takes to such an understanding of the Mayavadi philosophy loses all power to understand the real mystery of the Gita. I'll be right back. So, Lord Chaitanya has forbidden us to read commentations made by the Mayavadis and warns that one who takes to such an understanding of the Mayavadi philosophy loses all power to understand the real mystery of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So the mysticism of the Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees, and no one else can taste it. So in 1864, Sarvakuya tamam bhuya shinume paramam vacha istosi me dridam iti tato vaksyami tehitam. Because you are my very dear friend, O Arjuna, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. So the Lord has given Arjuna knowledge that is confidential, knowledge of Brahman, and still more confidential knowledge of the supersoul within everyone's heart. And now he is giving the most confidential part of knowledge. Just surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the end of the 9th chapter, he has said, Manmana, just always think of me. The same instruction is repeated here to stress the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. This essence is not understood by a common man, but one who is actually very dear to Krishna, a pure devotee of Krishna. This is the most important instruction of all Vedic literature. What Krishna is saying in this connection is the most essential part of knowledge, and it should be carried out not only by Arjuna, but by all living entities. So what is that essence? Shrinu me paramam vacha. He says, "O Arjuna, because you're my very dear friend, I'm speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit." So what is that? Manmana. Just always think of me, Krishna says. Manmana. Always think of me. Madhyaji, Madbhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru, offer your homage. Homage means your respect and love to me. My mam evaisasi satyam te. I promise you, if you do this, evaisyasi, eva esyasi, you will come to me. Pratijane priyosime, because you become very dear to me. So this is the most confidential part of knowledge, is that one should become a pure devotee of Krishna and always think of him and act for him. One should not become an official meditator. A life should be so molded that one will always have the chance to think of Krishna. One should always act in such a way that all his daily activities are in connection with Krishna. He should arrange his life in such a way that throughout the 24 hours he cannot but think of Krishna, and the Lord's promise is that anyone who is in such pure Krishna consciousness will certainly return to the abode of Krishna, where he will be engaged in the association of Krishna face to face. This is the most confidential part of knowledge, and is spoken to Arjuna because he is the dear friend of Krishna. Everyone who follows the path of Arjuna can become a dear friend to Krishna and obtain the same perfection as Arjuna. These words stress that one should concentrate his mind upon Krishna, the very form with two hands, carrying a flute, the bluish boy with a beautiful face and peacock feathers in his hair. There are descriptions of Krishna found in the Brahma Samhita and other literatures. One should fix his mind on this original form of Godhead, Krishna. One should not even divert his attention to other forms of the Lord. The Lord has multi-forms as Vishnu, Narayana, Rama, Varaha, etc. But a devotee should concentrate his mind on the form that was present before Arjuna. Concentration of the mind on the form of Krishna constitutes the most confidential part of knowledge. And this is disclosed by Arjuna, because Arjuna is the most dear friend of Krishna. So that's the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Then again, 1155 and 1866. So we'll read 1866. Okay, 1155. Again explains the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Mat karma kin mat paramo mat bhakta sangavarjita nirvairak sarvabhutesu yasamam eti pandava. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. So, engaged in pure devotional service, free from fruitive activities and mental speculation, who works for Krishna, who makes Krishna the supreme goal of his life, and who's friendly to every living entity, he certainly comes to me. Anyone who wants to approach the supreme of all the personalities of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky and be intimately connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead must take this formula, 11th chapter, 55th verse, as stated by the Supreme Himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a book directed to the conditioned souls who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording it over nature, and who do not know of the real spiritual life. The Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the Supreme Spiritual Personality, and to teach one how to go back home, back to Godhead. Now here is the verse which clearly explains the process by which one can attain success in his spiritual activity, devotional service. So, what is that formula? Mat karma krit mat paramo. Mat karma krit. Engage in doing my work, Krishna says, 1. Mat parama, considering me the supreme. Mad bhakta, engage in my devotional service. Sangavarjita, freed from the contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation. Nirvairak, without an enemy. Sarvabhutesu, among all living beings. One who does this comes back to me, Krishna says. Okay, so here we have the formula, which is the essence of all Bhagavad Gita. So then, in 1866, he picks up on this theme again, where he says, one should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His name is Krishna because he is all attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all-powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. There are different kinds of transcendentalists. Some of them are attached to the impersonal Brahman vision. Some of them are attracted by the super soul feature, etc. But one who is attracted to the personal feature of the Supreme Personality Godhead, and above all, one who is attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna Himself, is the most perfect transcendentalist. In other words, devotional service to Krishna in full consciousness is the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Karma yogis, empiric philosophers and mystics, and devotees are all called transcendentalists, but one who is a pure devotee is the best of all. The particular words used here, ma suchaha, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very insignificant. One may be perplexed as to how one can give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender unto Krishna, but such worry is useless. Then the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is explained in 330 and 331, where it says, Mai sarvani karmani sannyasya yatmachetasa nirasir nirmamo bhutva yudya svavikata jvara. Therefore, Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me and with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. So here, Prabhupada says, this verse clearly indicates, therefore, Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. This verse clearly indicates the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord instructs that one has to become fully Krishna conscious to discharge duties as if in military discipline. Such an injunction may make things a little difficult. Nevertheless, duties must be carried out with dependence on Krishna, because that is the constitutional position of the living entity. The living entity cannot be happy independent of the cooperation of the Supreme Lord. Because the eternal constitutional position of living entity is to become subordinate to the desires of the Lord. Arjuna was therefore ordered by Sri Krishna to fight as if the Lord were his military commander. One has to sacrifice everything for the goodwill of the Supreme Lord and at the same time discharge prescribed duties without claiming proprietorship. Arjuna did not have to consider the order of the Lord, he had only to execute his order. The Supreme Lord is the soul of all souls, therefore one who depends solely and wholly on the Supreme Soul without personal consideration, or in other words, one who is fully Krishna conscious, is called Adhyatma Chetas. Nirasi means that one has to act on the order of the Master but should not expect fruitive results. The cashier may count millions of dollars for his employer, but he does not claim a cent for himself. Similarly, one has to realize that nothing in the world belongs to any individual person, but that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. That is the real purport of Mayi, or unto me. And when one acts in such Krishna consciousness, certainly he does not claim proprietorship over anything. This consciousness is called nirmama, and nothing is mine, without consideration of so-called kinsman and bodily relationship. That reluctance should be thrown off. In this way, one may become vigata jwara, or without feverish mentality or lethargy. Okay, so this is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita, is to work for Krishna without desires for profit, no claims to proprietorship, and free from laziness, and surrendering all works unto Krishna with full knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then in 331,